Today's show brought to you by HP. So JetBlue just hit a milestone. According to my knowledge, they're the first brand to hit 1 million followers on Twitter. Now they're currently at about 1,045,000 followers, which is actually narrowly ahead of me by about 1,032,000. So the question is, well, is that good? Is that bad? How do we benchmark it? How do we even understand it? Well, it's pretty good, actually. I mean, anytime you've got 1 million people plugged in, that's pretty much what ABC, CBS, and NBC gets now in prime time every night. So, you know, apples to apples, 1 million is a pretty real number. I guess the question is, what are they doing with that million? Here's another thing as well. They're following, in fact, I don't know if you can see behind me, but they're following 117,875 people. And again, the question is, what criteria did they decide or choose to follow those people? Why those 117? Why not automatically following back those 1,045,000? You know what? These questions could, in fact, be irrelevant. But at the same time, let's try and answer them a little bit. Well, the one thing is perhaps the 117,000 people that they're following back are people that have engaged them or that they've had some kind of interaction with. People that have favorably predisposed themselves to the brand or also to the brand's Twitter presence. The other thing is, what is the role for Twitter for JetBlue? Well, if it's just spitting out specials and promotions and deals to over 1 million consumers on a timely basis, then I would say thumbs up. You know, if on the other hand, it's trying to compete with you or me in terms of having meaningful human-to-human conversations, then I'd say maybe kind of, you know, thumbs down. Honestly, it's still so early in the game, but the fact is, JetBlue has 1 million, and if you're one of the airlines out there, I'm pretty sure you don't. So they're ahead of you, and if they're making mistakes, they're making them before you do, and they're just going to pull further and further ahead. So, a couple of things. Number one, for those of you still trying to figure out Twitter, what do you use it for? Here are 5 potential reasons. Number one, listening strategy. Number two, responding to people, especially if they have questions or especially if they have concerns. Number 3 is engagement. You know, when somebody says something that represents a like-minded passion point, why not respond to them? Why not actually kind of get stuck in or join the conversation? Number 4 is the obvious one, customer service. And number 5, I think, is just to be one of the guys, so to speak. Because there's no reason, just like a brand can be personified as a human being, there's no reason why human beings that are behind the brands can't also assert themselves or become synonymous with a certain type of attitude, personality, and certain behavioral traits. In fact, one thing that I also like about JetBlue, just to wrap up, is the fact that you can see the bio says, follow us and let us help. Currently on duty, Gigi, Lindsay, Laurie, Alex, and John. So they're doing certain things that I think you need to take notice of, whether you're in the airline business or whether you're just in the brand business. And for God's sake, you know, don't be debating whether brands should be on Twitter or not on Twitter when you've got a brand like JetBlue that is just pulling further and further ahead. At Jaffe Juice on Twitter. Maybe JetBlue will be following me by the end of this episode.